Okay, so we're diving deep into David Baldacci, right?
You're right.
One Good Deed, the first Aloysius Archer book.
Yeah.
We've got all this analysis, and it gets seriously deep beyond just like, okay, what happened in the plot.
Right.
It's like stepping into this whole world, post-World War II, a hero who's not exactly a saint,
Oh, for sure.
trying to figure things out. Not your typical detective story, that's for sure.
What really gets me about how Baldacci does this is he just drops you right into 1949 Poca City.
Mm-hmm.
This town's still messed up from the war, and it's not just like background either.
Right.
He uses it to make you feel like uneasy, like something bad's about to happen.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Everyone's hiding something, you get that vibe.
It's funny you say that because
Mhm.
the analysis, it talks about how Baldacci uses these really vivid descriptions, like the cars, those old-timey cars.
Yeah.
And like smoky alleys, to get that
Yeah.
film noir feeling.
Totally.
But it's more than just mood, though. I think those details, they're like reflections of the characters, too.
Oh, absolutely.
Hardened, marked by what they've been through.
Exactly. Like, take Archer himself. He's fresh out of prison
Yeah.
for something he didn't even do, trying to start over.
Rough.
But the more you learn about him, the more you see he's not just some tough guy.
Right.
Baldacci gives you these little glimpses into what's he thinking, what's he doubting,
Mm-hmm.
makes him feel real. Like you could run into him at a bar in Poca City.
Totally.
Yeah.
And it's that complexity, I think that's what hooks you in.
Yeah.
He ends up doing this debt collection job for this shady businessman, Hank Pittleman. Classic Baldacci move, just throws his character into the fire.
Yeah. Speaking of fire, Pittleman ends up, murdered.
Oh, no.
And guess who they think did it? Archer, of course.
Of course.
So much for redemption.
Right, down a dark alley, literally.
But this is where Baldacci gets clever. Archer's not just a victim. He doesn't just sit there and take it. He goes after the truth. He's got this sense of justice even when the world's kicking him down.
It reminds me of that scene where they offer him a bribe
Oh, yeah.
to just shut up about what he knows. He needs the money badly, but he doesn't take it.
Doesn't compromise.
Yeah. It's a small thing, but it tells you so much about him. Made me think, what would I do?
Right.
Could I resist that? My whole life's on the line.
And that's what's great about Baldacci's writing. He puts you in these spots where there's no easy answer.
Right.
Archer's always on this tightrope between doing the right thing and just surviving.
Yeah.
It's like the whole world after the war, trying to rebuild, but still messed up morally.
Okay, so let's get into the mystery itself, right?
Right.
Who killed Pittleman and why? What are they hiding in Poca City? This is where Baldacci really knows how to keep you turning the pages.
He brings in all these characters, so intriguing, each with their own secrets, their own reasons for doing things.
Mm-hmm.
Like Jackie Tuttle.
Oh, Jack.
The analysis calls her enigmatic, alluring.
Perfect description.
She's like a puzzle. You can't figure her out.
Totally agree.
Then there's these powerful figures in town, the ones who'll do anything to protect what they've got.
You get the feeling Archer didn't sign up for just a murder.
No,
It's like he walked into something way bigger.
definitely.
And the more he digs, the higher the stakes get. Who to trust, who to fear.
Right.
It all gets blurry. It's like he's in a spider web. The more he struggles, the worse it gets.
And as he's going through all this, we start to see more of him, who he is. He's tough, resourceful. Yeah, he can be violent.
Mm-hmm.
But he's also, there's this soft spot, haunted by what happened to him, wanting a second chance, but also scared of getting hurt again. And it's that vulnerability, that's what makes him so interesting. We've all felt that. Wanting to leave our mistakes behind, but they're always there.
It's funny you say that, the analysis, it makes this connection
Yeah.
between Archer wanting redemption and, like, America after the war.
Oh, totally.
The whole country trying to heal, figure out who they are now. But the scars are still there,
Absolutely, yeah. And that pull between wanting a clean slate and all that history, it's all through the book. It's not just about who did it. It's about what's right and wrong, second chances when the world's still messed up from war.
Okay, let's get back to Jackie Tuttle.
Oh, yeah.
The analysis calls her a femme fatale with a twist.
Mm.
And I think they nailed it.
Mm-hmm.
She's got this pull on Archer, but you never know. Is she using him or does she actually care?
I had a different take on Jackie. I saw her more as like a survivor. She's had to be tough, use her smarts, her charm to get by in this world. You got to be careful with the kind of people in Poca City.
That's interesting. I hadn't thought about it that way. Maybe I'm letting the whole noir thing get to me, but yeah, you're right. She can't trust just anyone.
Exactly, and that makes her and Archer even more interesting. They're both kind of broken drawn to each other, but they don't trust easily. It's like they see themselves in each other a little bit.
It makes me think Baldacci's really playing with this idea of trust. Archer, even after everything, he wants to believe in people, second chances. Jackie, not so much. She's learned her lesson.
And that's not just them either. Look at everyone else in Poca City. The sheriff, Crooked, a brother who wants revenge, that singer. So seductive. They all have their own game, their own reasons for hiding things.
It's like you're suspicious of everyone. Even the ones who seem okay could be hiding something bad. Like Baldacci saying, in Poca City, nobody's who they pretend to be.
And that goes back to that moral grayness in the whole book. No good guys, bad guys, just people making choices, good or bad, based on what they're dealing with.
Right.
And those choices, they have consequences for everyone.
Yeah, it's not like those old detective stories, good versus evil, clear cut. Baldacci's making us see people are complicated. Even the good ones can do bad things, and the bad ones, maybe they have some good in them too.
Exactly. He makes you question what's right, what's wrong. And he does it in a way that's fun to read, but also makes you think. The mystery keeps you going, but then you're left wondering about bigger things like justice, starting over. What would you do in those tough spots?
Speaking of tough spots, that ending, I don't want to spoil anything, but Baldacci knows how to wrap things up, even if it's not what you expect.
Yeah.
You get answers, but there's still this feeling like something's not quite right.
And that's what makes his books stick with you. He's not afraid to show the dark side of people. And he doesn't give you easy answers. It makes you keep thinking about it, even after you're done reading.
It's funny you mentioned that, about thinking it over. The ending, it kind of reminded me of Archer's whole journey in the book. He starts out wanting to forget his past.
Right.
Clean slate.
Right.
But he learns you can't just outrun who you are.
Right.
And by the end, it's like he accepts it, good and bad, it's part of him.
Wow, that's deep. And it fits with that whole idea of accepting yourself. Archer can't move on until he owns up to who he is, even the messed up parts. That's something we can all relate to. We all have things we wish we hadn't done. But to really grow, you got to face it and learn from it.
And that's why One Good Deed is so good. It's not just exciting. It's about facing your demons, making peace with what happened, and finding the strength to keep going, even when you don't know what's next.
And gotta mention, this is just the start for Archer. The analysis, it hints that in the next book, A Gambling Man, things get even tougher for him. And I bet those challenges, they'll make him ask even deeper questions about himself and the world he's in.
They said A Gambling Man takes place in L.A.
Oh, wow.
Makes you think, how is that going to change Archer? Going from small town Poca City to, L.A.
Huge difference, right? Think about it. Poca City, it was all about the past, stuck in it. LA, though, it's all about new beginnings. People go there to reinvent themselves,
Yeah.
It'll be interesting. How does Archer handle that? Does he try to become someone new, or is Poca City still going to be with him?
And don't forget, L.A., back then, late 40s, it was all glamour, but also a lot of bad stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Hollywood, but then also the mob, corruption.
Dark side, for sure.
I could totally see Archer getting pulled into something even worse than Poca City.
The analysis, it mentioned A Gambling Man gets into, high-stakes gambling.
Oh,
Adds
yeah.
another layer to that whole what's right, what's wrong thing. Gambling, it's chance, but it's also skill, strategy, and a lot of times lying. So how's Archer, Mr. Straight and Narrow, going to deal with that?
That brings us back to, the big question Baldacci keeps asking. What makes a good man when the world rewards the bad guys? Can someone like Archer, after everything, really find redemption when everyone's just chasing money and power?
Yeah. Those are questions people have always asked, right? And Baldacci, he gets it. He understands people. He doesn't give you easy answers. Instead, he makes you go through it with his characters.
Yeah.
Face your own biases. Figure out what's right and wrong when things aren't so clear.
Exactly. It's why his books are more than just, a fun read. They stick with you. They make you think. They make you question things.
Totally. If you want a book that'll keep you guessing, One Good Deed is definitely it. But it's also going to make you think, make you question yourself, and those spots, they're going to stay with you. And from what the analysis said, A Gambling Man is going to be even better, deeper into Archer and those tough choices he has to make.
I'm already hooked, I gotta say. Baldacci, he's made this world, these characters, they feel real, but also like something new.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what happens to Archer next, what kind of mess he gets into.
I'll leave you with this. Think about this. We're going from Poca City, all dark and hidden, to LA, all bright and shiny. What does that mean for Archer inside? Is he running towards something good, or is he still running away from his past? That's what we'll find out next time when we dive into A Gambling Man.